Hey guys, welcome back to the Fool Show. Of course, I am Foolish Phil. Just wanted to give you some of my thoughts after Michigan defeated Alabama 27-20 in overtime to win the Rose Bowl. And wow, was that a stressful game. And I would just have to say, it's so great that Michigan won this after being dominated by a better Georgia team, after seeing Michigan shoot themselves in the foot so many times against TCU last year and TCU getting the victory. And then seeing it repeating itself. Seeing the muffed punt by Morgan. Seeing the missed extra point. Seeing the drop passes, the missed passes. After seeing another dropped punt. Oh man, it's just like, what could go wrong? Not to mention that you had all the trick plays that backfired on Michigan. The flea flicker with the bad pass back or lateral back to be up. And then you had the one from Edwards to JJ, who made the one-handed super catch and then got a pass off. It's like the trick plays were not well run. And you'd think that Michigan would practice those well. It just all circles back to this was a game where give Alabama the credit, but if Michigan would have lost this game, it would have been like, man, Michigan just shoots itself in the foot again. Just like the TCU game with the 2 pick sixes and the fumble at the 1 yard line. But this team's a little different. This team was able to rise up and get that last second touchdown, with under 2 minutes to go to Roman Wilson. This team was able to get a stop so that Alabama couldn't come down and kick a game-winning field goal. This team got it done. And just splendid for that. I mean, the game just started off with Michigan's defense being lights out. 4 sacks in Alabama's first 2 or 3 possessions. Obviously, they scored on the muffed punt where they had, I think, 44 yards to the end zone. Alabama took advantage of their chances. If you wouldn't know the score, you would think, just looking at the stats, that Michigan was dominating the first half. And when they went to halftime, it was only 13-10, right? So, twofold. You're glad that Michigan was up, but man, Michigan shot itself in the foot, missed the extra point, gave them the football back. So it's 8-point swing right there, right? Michigan was just finding ways to not execute. The script really switched in the second half, and you got to give Alabama some props. But again, you saw Michigan had to have a scramble by JJ with a splendid catch by Cornelius Johnson. The next third and long, JJ hits, I think it was Samaj Morgan, but it was behind him. He's not running with the ball, and he falls down at the 8. After an 8-yard gain, rather, instead of just being able to run it for the first down. And that just started to snowball. It really turned into an Iowa game in this way, where Alabama was playing good D, and they kept winning the field possession game, right? And Michigan kept screwing it up. Their, punter, returner Morgan would let the ball bounce at the 20, and it goes down to the 10. So there's 10 yards of field position, right? It's just the hidden yards there. And eventually, Alabama got the ball again at 55 yards to go for a touchdown, and they drove down and they scored and got the lead 17-13. Just the offense is trying to do something. They can't get out of their way. Next third down, JJ throws again to, I think it was Samaj Morgan, and goes right through his hands. Just right through his hands, right through his arms. I know JJ throws a fastball. Maybe that's just kind of part of it where the younger receivers weren't up to JJ's real game speed. And I know you do also want JJ to, maybe he could have taken some miles per hour off those throws, but, the team was just not clicking, and what you're doing is you're just putting your defense back out there, a 3-and-out, 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 maybe 1 first down, then 3-and-out. It's this is going bad. They even get the fumble. Milroe fumbles the ball. Wallace recovers it. And what is Michigan gets a 20-yard pass to Wallace, and then they get the botched flea flicker. Right? Yeah, I think you had, someone was wide open there, but bad pass back. Michigan just kept shooting itself in the foot. I mean, Alabama's a good team, but Michigan was just playing a junk game. It's stop screwing up. So it came down to it, man. Alabama had the ball. They had the chance to end the game, right? And Michigan got a stop, got the punt. Got the ball back, and 4th and 2, and they hit Corum on a little, I think it was a play action, but no one went with Corum. hit him for a gigantic game. Roman Wilson got called for the block in the back, fine. But man, Roman Wilson totally redeemed himself, right? The last touchdown in regulation, that ball was tipped, man. And you could see, to me, I thought the defender was totally going to pick that. And Roman fully extended as high as stretch as he could, and he caught that ball. Man, that's like, I want to get, I got pictures on my wall of like plays and players and such. If I can find a picture of that, I would be so stoked to get a picture of him catching that ball. Come back to him a little bit later and gets the game-tying touchdown. And after you miss one extra point with a bad snap, every extra point's stressful. And luckily Turner was able to put that one through. Defense gets a stop again, and Thaw fumbles, muffs the punt inside the 10, recovers it, gets tackled at the 1, so it's not quite a safety. Luckily he held on to the ball. Man, special teams has a lot to work on. It was crazy. Alabama wins the overtime coin flip. Michigan gets the ball first. 2 Corum runs, 25 yards. The second one, epic run for the 17-yard touchdown. Michigan up, and then it's can they play defense. Alabama comes down, man. 4th down. Mason Graham made a great play on second down, like 4 or 5 yard loss on a run. 3rd down, they hit a wide receiver, like 3 yard line. 4th and goal. Injury timeout. I think Alabama called timeout. And then Michigan called out timeout. It might have been flip-flopped there. But like, oh, the stress. And me and my buddies, we're all watching just quarterback run, quarterback run, quarterback run. And that's what it was. And he ran up the middle. Josiah Stewart pushed his lineman, his guard or tackle over. And actually, Milroe just tripped over it. Tripped over the lineman's foot. And there was no room anyways. But you had, on the bottom of the screen, you had Sanders still coming from the bottom, so he couldn't bust it outside. You had, I think, Derek Moore coming from the linebacker spot to get in there, so there was a lineman who pulled the right guard. He had no one to block and just suffocated it, man. Quarterback run, stop that, man. And they did. And Michigan wins. After the Georgia blowout, after the heartbreaking loss to TCU, to climb that mountain and win a playoff game. Win it. What a relief, what a joy. Michigan played not a great game, and they still got the victory. Just crazy, man. A few thoughts. You know what happens, right? As a Michigan fan, you know, as soon as Michigan beats someone, it wasn't that good of a victory. So Alabama was overrated, right? Alabama was overrated. I'm just thinking about it. When Michigan went into Penn State, beat them. Yeah, Penn State wasn't that good. Michigan ran the ball 30 times in a row. How good could they be? I don't really hear that so much about Ohio State, but you know what I mean. As soon as Michigan beats someone, they're not a good team anymore. It wasn't that good of a victory. Secondly, that Michigan won this game playing... I don't know, what grade would you give Michigan for this offensively? Defense, fine. You held Alabama to 20 points. 10 points in each half. What would you give Michigan offense? A C? C plus? Special teams, I think, gets, outside of a couple tackles inside the 15-yard line, I would say special teams gets an F for this game. The punts were not that great. The good hang time, but not very deep punts. 2 muffs. You had a missed field goal, a missed extra point because of a bad snap. I don't know how they don't get an F on special teams. Jay Harbaugh is normally a really, really good coach and has a really good unit, so quite the anomaly, I hope. So what would you give Michigan's offense? C plus? B minus? I love the schematics. Those crossing routes to Samaj Morgan, to other people, they were open. Just, for whatever reason, Michigan kept screwing it up. Like I said, JJ throws behind. Wide receivers drop the passes. Our special plays are just botched. Right? The flea flicker, and luckily JJ caught that one-handed and got it over to Roman Wilson. I don't know. The second half was not good. 3 and out. Well, first down, 3 and out. First 3 and out. 3 and out. First down, missed field goal after the recovered fumble. 4th and 2. That's where we scored the touchdown drive. 4th and 2. And then in overtime, they get the victory. Whew. Tight, stressful. We gotta love sports, man. That's what's so great about sports. Stars of the game, I mean, I guess you gotta go with JJ. His stats aren't impeccable, but 17 of 27, 221 yards, I think it was, 3 touchdowns, no picks, luckily. Alabama stepped out of bounds right before they caught that first play of the game interception. And me and my buddies talk about it. JJ just starts rough, man. He is like too jacked up. He starts rough. It's like, what can the coaches do to get him into the game quicker? It'd be so great if you just start clicking right from the beginning. And I'm sure the coaches know it. I'm sure JJ knows it. They're trying, but it's like, at Michigan's first possession, like, obviously they overturned that play, but I think they threw the ball 3 times and had to punt 3 and out, right? It's like, you're trying to get JJ in the game, but it wasn't working. But he gets it done in the end. In the end, what's it matter? You want to win the game, and when you're going in the playoffs, does it matter if you won by 20 or 7? No. Hopefully this will springboard Michigan to have some positive momentum. Hopefully they will shake off their rust and this shooting themselves in the foot, right? I'm not sure if Houston, I think they play in a dome. So I think I'm fine with that because I think Michigan does better on field turf than natural grass. So I think that'll be fine. Whoa. I don't know. Michigan got the win. They got the win. No loss in the playoffs yet. No crushing defeat, no heartbreaking defeat. And now they get to play, I don't know how the score's going. I saw Washington up 7-0 over Texas. See how it goes, man. But they won 14-0 going to the national championship game next Monday night. Oh, just great, man. I know there's so much to say. The offense struggled but got it done when it really needed to. The defense battle-tested hard and held. Just a team win, man. Team win. Get the win and move on. Get the win and move on. What can you say about Corum's runs there in overtime? 2 great runs at 17-yarder highlight one there, man. Then the defense to stop there on 4th down. Quarterback run! And they held it. They didn't get caught. They didn't give it, and so that's so great. I know I'm rambling, but what a game. If you have any comments, put them in the box below. I'll try to respond as I'm able to. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and we'll do this again next Monday night. As always, go Blue!